In some of the shooting video games, you have seen that when we scroll mouse wheel down or up, or if we press number keys on our keyboard, there is a mechanism called switch weapon which switches the weapon between primary and secondary. And in this tutorial we will be doing the same, so let's get started. So here I have this basic FPS scene with our player and our flow. Our player has a basic FPS controller, and for the gun models I have this pistol weapon as my primary weapon, this SMG as my secondary weapon, and this AKM as my tertiary weapon. I will save my gun scenes with the gun name, this one as AKM, this one as SMG, this one as pistol. So go to your main scene, select your player. To see the nodes which are present in our player scene, just right click your player, click on this editable children. Now you will see all the nodes which are present in our player scene. So if you look at the player scene properly, then you will find a camera node which is attached to a spatial node. In my case, the spatial node is named to head, and this head controls the look and rotation of our camera. So select the head, add a spatial node, rename it to hand. Next, select this icon and instance all the three weapons. Now I will hide the other weapons and I'll just enable my pistol so it's visible in our main scene. Next, select your hand node and properly place it in the place of hand. You can even select your camera, click on preview, again select the hand node, and in the transform section you can change the translation value so it matches the rough hand. Even rotate if necessary. If your gun model is too large, then play with the scale value so it matches your player. So every gun has its own animation player which contains lots of animations such as firing, reloading, anything else. So in this demo you can see this is my pistol weapon and this is my FPS hand. So this pistol contains a node called animation player, and this animation player has lots of animations. The same thing is for my shotgun and the same again for my SMG. So next in our demo we will add an animation player node as a child of pistol. Next we will create a gun up animation. So creating gun up or gun down animation both are same, just because if you play the gun up animation in reverse then it becomes gun down animation. So let me show you what I mean. Select this animation and click on new animation, and this will be our gun up. Click on end. The animation length I want is 0.5 seconds. If your gun already have animations, then just ignore these steps. Next, go to the last frame by pressing D and then select your pistol. Under transform section, click on this key, again click on this rotation degree keys. Now we have created keyframes at the end of this animation. Now press A to go at the beginning of this animation. Next, change the translation and the rotation degree values so that our gun is facing downward direction. So at the time we play the animation, it should feel like we are picking up our gun. Once you are done with the animation, press D to play the animation, and you can again press A to check how the animation goes. Make sure that this icon is not enabled. We just want our animation to play once, so we will disable this animation looping. Next, I will click create one more animation, and that will be walk. So once you're done with the animation, select your animation player node, press Ctrl D to duplicate it twice. Now drag the other animation player node under the slots of other guns and rename them to animation player only. Remember that all the three names should be same. Now if you hide the pistol and unhide the SMG, select the animation player of SMG, and in the animations you can see again we have both the animations. This is same for our AKM also. Next, our GUI part has been finished, so we will go for scripting. Select your player and click on this icon. Now let me properly show the screen. So all this code are for my player movement. So at the beginning we will create three reference, and that's our gun. You can just ignore all this code, it's just for my player movement. So to reference the gun node or our gun model, in your case it can be hand or anything, so just write on ready war AK gun equals to $head/hand, and it's the path for my AKM. Next, I have the same already war SMG gun, and it's the path for my SMG. And the last one is for my pistol gun. Next, we will create a variable called gun number, and this will store our gun. Here gun number I have set to 1, which will be my primary weapon or pistol at the beginning of my gameplay. This gun number variable will be useful to track our gun. So next we will create one more variable called current gun, and this will be set to our pistol gun. Make sure that your gun number and your current gun both are one and the same. Here the current gun is pistol and the gun number is primary weapon or 1. Next we will create a enum called action, and our parameters will be walk and gun down. So these two parameters are my animation. If you have multiple animation like reload or firing, then you can add them here. In my case I just have 2 animations, so I'm just writing 2. So next, to get the mouse scroll input in the input function, so you can see here I already have the input function. If you don't have, then you should create one. In the input function, just ignore all this code and write if event is input event mouse button, then if our event button index is equal to button wheel up, that means it will check if we scroll wheel up. Then we will just check this code by saying print wheel up, and we will do the same thing for button wheel down or mouse scroll down. Right, if event button index is equal to mouse wheel down or mouse scroll down, then just print wheel down. So if we run this in now, just ignore this gun, and if we scroll up or down in the terminal, you can see it's printing wheel up and wheel down. But here you can see the terminal is printing twice, which means in single scroll up or down, our code is running twice. So close this terminal or close this window. Next, to fix that issue, create a variable called canScroll and set it to true. Next, in this line, just add end canScroll, then print wheel up. Once it's print wheel up, we will set our canScroll to false. Next, once we scroll our wheel, after 1 second, again it will get the input from our scrolling. So we will create a timer. So write yield get tree create timer, and the wait time is 1 second, and the function is timeout. We are setting our canScroll to true. So we will do the same thing for our mouse scroll down. So here we are adding the canScroll, and then we are setting our canScroll to false. Next we wait for 1 second, and then we will set our canScroll to true. If we run this in now, if we scroll mouse wheel up, you can see in the terminal it's printing wheel up, and when we scroll down, it's printing wheel down. Now to create the mechanism for our switch weapon, we will create a function, and the function will be play animation. So just write func play animation, and in our play animation function we will add 3 parameters. Our first parameter will be gun, which again will be our current gun. Our next parameter, performing action, which will keep record whether we want to play gun down animation or walk animation. And the last parameter will be modified value. So this modified value will switch between guns when we scroll mouse wheel up or down. So next, create a variable called gun animation player, and that equal to gun.getNode animation player. So here we are getting the node animation player of our gun. Here the gun will be the same gun which we pass in the function. So if it's pistol, then it will get the pistol animation player, and if it's SMG, it will get SMG animation player. Next, we will match our performing action, so that if our performing action is switch weapon, then it will switch our weapon. If it's walk, then it will play walk animation. So just write if our performing action is equal to action.gundown, then we will just simply pass this statement. Next, if our performing action is matching our action.walk, then again we will pass the statement. So before going deep in switch mechanism, let's create one more function. So this function will change our current gun based on our gun number. For example, if our gun number is 2, then our current gun will be SMG, and if our gun number is 3, then our current gun will be AKM. So to create the function, write func get gun with number, and again here our parameter will be number. In the get gun with number function, write match number, which will check if our gun number is 1 or 2 or 3. So if our gun number is 1, then we will set our current gun to pistol. If our gun number is 2, then we will set our current gun to SMG. Next, if our gun number is 3, then we will set our current gun to AKM. Okay, so till now our function is good, but just imagine if we have our AKM and we scroll down, which means we want to get our next gun. So here our AKM gun will be our last gun, and if we scroll down, then it means that again we want to switch to our pistol. So after 3, again if we scroll down, which means our gun number will become 4. So if our gun number is 4, then we will set our current gun to pistol. So again, just imagine if our current gun is pistol and we scroll up, which means our gun number will be equal to 0, and if our gun number is 0, then we want our AKM to be visible, or if our gun is pistol and we scroll up, we want it to switch to AKM. So right, if our gun number matches to 0, then we will set our current gun to AKM. So now we cannot keep on writing all the negative numbers and all the positive numbers after 4 to switch between our weapons. So to avoid our gun number to go below 0 or after 4, we will change our gun number. So if our gun number matches to 0, and when our current gun becomes AKM, then again we will set our gun number to 3, which again is our AKM only. So again, if our gun number matches to 4, then again we will set our gun number to 1, and at last we will return our current gun. So our get gun with number function has been finished. Next we will go deep in the play animation function. So if our performing action is equal to action.gundown, then just delete this pass and write gun ap.play backwards gun up. So here playing gun up animation in reverse will make our animation as we are getting gun down. So we are just playing our gun up animation in backwards. Next, we doesn't want our gun down and gun up animations both to play simultaneously. So at first we will wait until our gun down animation finishes. So to wait, we will create a timer. So to create the timer, write yield get recreate timer. Okay, so here we will not provide the exact number as our wait time, because every gun has its own animation duration for gun up or gun down. So but rather we will get the animation length duration by writing gun up dot get animation, which means it will get our gun up animation and then we will get its length. So once we get its length, after this Godot will automatically know how much time it have to wait. So then our signal is timeout. So after this wait time finishes, then it will run our next code, which is we will make our gun invisible. So we are just saying gun.visible equals to false. So next we will change our gun number according to our modified value. So once we change our gun number, we will call our get gun with number function. So just write get gun with number and the parameter is our gun number. So this will just set our current gun based on our gun number. Next we will make our current gun to be visible. Next, once we make our gun visible, we will say current gun dot get node animation player, which will get our animation player, and then it will play our gun up animation. So next again we don't want Godot to run anything else, so we will create a timer until our gun up animation finishes. So write yield get recreate timer, and again here our wait time will not be exact. So first we will get our gun up animation, then we will calculate its length. So write current gun dot get node animation player, which means we will get our animation player node, and then we will get our gun up animation, and then we will calculate its length. So that's it code for our switch weapon. Next, if our performing action is equal to action.walk, then we will say our gun animation player to play our walk animation. So here again, I just have 2 animations. So if you have multiple animation, then you can write multiple code. Next, our play animation function has been finished. So we will call our play animation function in our input function when we scroll up. So just erase this print wheel up and write get gun with number, and the parameter is gun number. We are calling this function just to update our current gun. Next, call our play animation function, and in our play animation function, our first parameter will be current gun, our second parameter will be action.gundown, which means we want to switch our weapon, and the third parameter will be our -1 number, so that we are scrolling our mouse wheel up, so we are passing here -1 just because we want to switch our weapon to previous one when we scroll up. Next, do the same thing for button wheel down or scroll down. So in the scroll down function or in the scroll down statement, write get gun with number, and again the parameter is gun number. Next we call our play animation function. The first parameter is our current gun, the second parameter is our action.gundown, and here the third parameter will be +1, because when we scroll down we want it to switch to next weapon. So now if we run this in now, you can see we have our pistol facing downwards. We will fix this in a minute. and if we scroll down, you can see our SMG has come up, and the same thing for our AKM. And after our AKM, again we scroll down, it switches to pistol, and if we go reverse, again it switches to AKM. So our gun switch animation is playing properly. So just quit the terminal, and in the animation player for our pistol, just click on the icon so our frame is at last, or you can just switch to our walk animation. And if you run our scene now, you can see we have our properly faced pistol direction, and our guns are properly switching. Next, to switch our gun with our keyboard numbers, go to project settings under input map, add the action as 1, 2, 3. So in my case, I have added the action as 1, 2, 3 and assigned the keyboard 1, keyboard 2 and keyboard 3. Next, again in the script, just go to your process function. In my case, I don't have any process function. Here I have physics process function. The difference between physics process and the process is, in physics process, physics is gonna calculate, and in process it's just gonna process the code. So I will create the process function. If you already have the function, then just write the code below that, else you can create one. So just write func underscore process and the parameter is delta, and here just write pass. So again we will create one more function, change gun with number. So write function change gun with number, and here we don't pass any parameter. Next in the function, write if input is action, just press 1. Then, so if our current gun is not equal to pistol gun, then we will call our get gun with number function, and the parameter is gun number. Next we will call our play animation function. So here our first parameter will be current gun, the second parameter is again action.gun down, and the third parameter is set to 0. The reason we are setting our third parameter to 0 is because we are not changing our gun from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, but rather we will change our gun randomly as 3 to 1 or 1 to 3 or anything else. So once we call our play animation function, we will set our gun number to 1. So we will do the same thing for is action, press 2 and 3. So just write if input is action, just press 2. If our current gun is not equal to SMG gun, then we will get our current gun. Next we will call our play animation function, and again our parameters will be same. Next we will set our gun number to 2. Next if we press our action 3, if our current gun is not equal to AKM, then we will call our get gun with number function. Next we will call our play animation function. Next we will change our gun number to 3, and this whole function we will call in our process function by just saying change gun with number. So once you have called this function, if you run the scene and if you press 3, you can see our AKM has changed. If you press 1, it's changed to pistol. If you press 2, it's changed to SMG, and you can see it's nicely switching between weapons. So if you close the terminal, so if you go to this function change gun with number, here you can see first we call our get gun with number function, and then we call our play animation function with the first parameter as our current gun, the second parameter is our performing action, and finally we set our gun number to 1. Okay, so just imagine at present we will be having our AKM gun. So when we press 1, it will check if our current gun is not equal to pistol gun, and then this line will be true because our current gun will be AKM. Next it will get gun with number, which will set our current gun to AKM. Next in the play animation function, our current gun will be AKM, so it will play the AKM gun down animation. Then if you go to this play animation function, which is here, yes, you can see here after we play our gun up animation, so then we make our current gun to be invisible. Next we set our gun number to gun number plus modified value. Here our modified value is 0, so our gun number is again set to gun number, which is equal to 3. Again we call our get gun with number function, which will set our current gun to AKM because our gun number is 3. Then again we say our current gun to be visible, which again our AKM should be visible. Next again our current gun will play our gun up animation, which means our AKM should play gun up animation. Then it should wait for the gun up animation to complete. Then after we set our gun number to 1. So it basically means this code should run twice to get our gun up animation. So first it will take our current gun down, which will be AKM. Again it will take the AKM gun up, and then it will set our gun number to 1. Then again our AKM should go down, and then again our pistol gun should come up. Okay, so this code should run twice, but here we have set that if input is action just pressed, which means if we press once, this code should run. Then how this code is gonna run twice? So if our code is not running twice, then how our pistol animation is playing? So let's again check it out. So if we run the scene, so if I press 3 on my keyboard, you can see our AKM has come up, and if I press 1, it switches to pistol. So how is this happening? I am not scrolling my mouse wheel. Then how is this happening? So according to me, the solution is GDScript doesn't run how every programming language compiles. So here GDScript, what it does is it runs all the code at a time. At a time means first it will run our get gun with number function, then it will run our play animation function. Then while this function is running, it will go and then it will play our gun down animation. So while it's playing gun down animation, our gun number will be set to 1. So at the next frame, our gun number will be equal to 1, and then it will call our get gun with number, and this will be our current gun which is set to pistol. Then our pistol becomes visible, and then our code runs as usual. So that's it for our switch wrapper function. Next we have created one more animation, and that's walk. So to demonstrate that, so I will go to this line where we say move forward action is pressed, and I will call the play animation function again. Play play animation. The first one is our current one, and the second parameter will be our action dot walk. Third parameter will be 0 because we are not changing any weapon, and again here we will just call our get gun with number and the gun number. If we run the scene now, okay, so if we walk, you can see our walk animation is playing, and if we switch weapons and again press W, our walk animation again is playing. So here it depends upon you how you modify your code or how your gun has animations. So that's it for this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching my tutorial. If you have any questions, then comment below. Do like the tutorial, do comment, do subscribe, press the bell to join the game development with me. And if you want any further tutorials based on any mechanic, you can just comment it down. I will try to bring the tutorial, and always have a great day.